Hello, I'm Dr. Casey Boggs with Boggs Chiropractic, and just wanted to share with you a webinar that I did recently or sat in on. It was actually from one of my professors from chiropractic school, one of my favorite teachers. His name's Dan Weiner. And this guy's got a master's in exercise science. He has a doctor of chiropractic degree, PhD in education, and a diplomate in rehabilitation. So he's a really smart dude. But the focus on this webinar was balance and how loss of muscle really is a key factor in that. And this is something I've learned about in the past with some of the classes, but sometimes you miss how something really is going to apply with what you're going to be doing later on. So that's exactly the way I felt with this. So clinically, we see a lot of patients with balance issues, and we treat that through adjustments to make sure their nervous system's good. We'll teach them exercises that should help with balance. And a lot of times we see great results, but sometimes we don't see those great results, and you wonder, well, why isn't this person getting better? So the reason this webinar was so good is it really reminded me of how much muscle mass is important to your balance. So specifically, the topic of this webinar was on what's called sarcopenia, or the loss of skeletal muscle, specifically fast twitch muscle fibers. So there are different types of muscle fibers, fast twitch and slow twitch. Most muscles are going to have some of both, but certain muscles will have more fast twitch, other muscles will have more slow twitch. For example, your postural muscles along the spine, those are going to be predominantly slow twitch because they help you with posture, whereas a fast twitch muscle fiber is going to be more like your bicep muscles, a great example of a fast twitch. So fast twitch muscle fibers, they're there for speed, for strength, for control, where the slow twitch is mostly more control. So an increased likelihood of falls is losing your fast twitch muscle fibers, and that's essentially what sarcopenia is. So why do people develop sarcopenia as they age? Well, there are a variety of reasons, but one is hormonal. Not much we can do about that. As we age, our hormones change, and that changes how quickly we can create muscle and all those things. But also, as we age, we also become more stationary. We're working in jobs where maybe we're not moving as much as we used to when we were kids. So that's going to be an impact. We don't exercise as much as we should. That's going to be a big one. But we also don't eat enough protein, or if we do eat enough protein, we're not getting the right nutrients to turn that protein into muscle. So specifically to create fast twitch muscle fibers, you really need two things. Number one, you need enough protein. And protein specifically has to be high in all the amino acids, specifically leucine is the big one to help you create the fast twitch muscle fibers. That's what's going to initiate the process. So it's different for youth versus older adults, but for a youth, typically you want to be getting at least 20 grams of protein per meal, and about 2.2 grams of leucine is important for that. And then for an adult, 40 grams of protein is important. 2.5 grams of leucine is important in that. So just make sure, number one, you're getting enough protein in your diet. Now, where should that protein come from? Well, there are a bunch of different sources you can get it from. You can get it from meat, you can get it from dairy. There are a lot of vegetables, things that you can get. You can take some powders. So I'll let you do research on where to find those things. But that's number one. Just make sure you're getting enough protein. And then number two, and this is a big one for a lot of our patients, is you need to exercise. There's no reason for your body to create those fast twitch muscle fibers if you're not stressing the muscle and creating the need. And what I didn't realize is as you age, your fast twitch muscle fibers, if you don't use them, are going to transition into slow twitch muscle fibers. And that's why so many, especially older adults, are going to lose their ability to balance because they're losing those fast twitch muscle fibers. So when you get knocked off balance, that muscle's not quick enough to contract to stabilize you. So how do you strengthen or exercise to gain fast twitch muscle fibers? Well, the best form of exercise is going to be eccentric muscle contraction. So what does that mean? Well, there are two types of muscle contraction. Concentric, which is where your muscle is strengthening during the shortening process, or eccentric, where your muscle's strengthening during the lengthening process. So imagine I'm doing a curl. As my arm bends, that muscle shortening, and that's strengthening. Well, eccentric is basically you're doing a slow repetition as the muscle is stretching out. So that's eccentric muscle strengthening, and that's going to have your best opportunity to create that fast twitch muscle fiber. The other thing that you need is a couple of days after your exercise, you need to have delayed onset muscle soreness. And that's important to trigger the production of new muscle cells, those fast twitch muscle cells. So that's very important. So again, you need to have the right protein, specifically with leucine, but you've got to start strengthening through eccentric muscle exercises. Now, there are a lot of different exercises out there that you can do specifically for improving your balance and coordination. Really focusing on the feet and the lower legs, that's going to be a big importance. Also the pelvic muscles, your glute muscles, your hip flexors, those are also going to be important. So again, a lot of different exercises you can do for that. One of them that I really like, that you can invest a little bit of money into getting what's called a rocker board. So this is something you would stand on, and it rocks specific directions, and it forces the muscles in your feet and lower leg to really work efficiently. That's something that a lot of people just don't work enough on. So that's my topic today. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you know somebody that has some balance issues, we would love to help them out with that. Thanks.